Aha! We're live, I think. That was the first time I've heard that since last week, and I'm still giddy when I listen to it. That is crazy. Shouldn't be giddy about your own music, but for some reason that song gets the juices flowing. So here we are again, and this almost didn't happen. It's been a weird, strange week for me, and I was on the fence about doing this again. But yesterday, I thought, to hell with it, let's do this. And there is good stuff to talk about. Well, when I say good, I should say controversial, maybe. I don't know. As you probably saw from the thumbnail, we're going to talk about these new retro collection figures, which are anything but retro. And as we did last week, once I'm done sort of talking nonsense for a few minutes or whatever, we can put out the link and invite anyone who wants to come on. And I know of one person who wants to come on because we've just been talking. But anyway, let me just address some of the comments. We've got a lot already, which is quite remarkable, really. I can't believe it. Anyway, excuse me. Newbie Moosehead, he says, "Hi, Dean. We talked a little bit about this on Twitter. I think they look awesome, and I'm excited for GI and Vader. Should also confess, despite promising that I would, I'm still not watched the Kenobi show yet. I do apologize for that. So if we can be respectful, not only to me, but other folks who have not seen it, no spoilers, please, in the chat. Although I will ask questions such as, I don't know what GI is. Oh, Grand Inquisitor, I think. Vader, but I agree, they aren't exactly retro. They look cool, but it's nothing OT. Absolutely. Jim Largo, very good to see you here. Darth Wizzy Wizard, 100% Dean. I'm assuming you mean they're 100% retro. You can correct me if I'm wrong, of course. Kieran Ball, good to see you here. These aren't the retro Star Wars figures I'm looking for. I don't think they're the retro Star Wars figures anyone is looking for. Monkey Boy, good to see you. Glad to see you here. The chat has just jumped on me already. That's crazy. Coglin's Law, oi, oi. Okay. Gerard O'Connor, good to see you. Good evening, all, and always a good evening spent. Dean and the gang. Oh, thank you. That's so nice to hear. 1980s and Star Wars guy. Hello there. Hello there. I hope you can stay or stick around this time. I know you caught a little bit last week, but it's good to see you here again. Stephen Taylor gives it a thumbs up. The Kenner collecting kid art. Good evening, and good evening to you. Monkey Boy Toys. Woo! So I had a quick chat with Monkey Boy prior to this, and he has had a couple of, or will be having a couple of beers. I've had a few already, and I'm still not loose enough to be comfortable yet, if that makes sense. I'm still a little bit nervous. Hopefully, if I keep doing this, and I really have to force myself to do these live streams, it will become more natural, and I won't need the liquid courage. So I've got a stack down here, and I've got my classic 80s style pub glass. I think I mentioned on the ill-fated live stream last month that this is an American pint. So it's only 16 ounces versus the 20 ounces it should be. So certainly not a mega pint, but it serves its purpose, and it looks cool. I do like that. A lot of throwback to the two Ronnies and many of their bar sketches. Next up, we got Kieran Ball again. Hello, Dean, in the chat. AWM 1985. Hello, Dean. Hope you're well. I am now, actually. I got off to a bad start this week. I was not feeling good at all. And how do I say this? I keep worrying about things that really aren't there. And part of that was, and I think I say this every time I do these damn live streams, that I get upset that I have this feeling that everyone's against me, everyone hates me type thing. And it occurred to me that it's quite appropriate that people wouldn't really like me because I don't even like myself most of the time. So it makes sense that others wouldn't. I got past that and feeling much better now. Now that you mentioned that, my God. So, excuse me. I said, I must have been earlier this year, I forget when, maybe February, that I have to absolutely stop spending money on toys. Last year was just absolutely ridiculous. When I looked back at all the PayPal, eBay, Amazon transactions, I completely went like, people talk about budgets. Well, I must have gone, there's a fly here, I must have gone like 100 times over budget. And when I saw how much had been spent on toys, it was quite sickening, to be honest. And I said, that's it. I'm not buying anything else for the foreseeable future. Now, I can resist most things except temptation, sadly. And when I saw that Lego were doing an Optimus Prime, it was like, my God, where was this 40, well, not quite 40, where was this 37 years ago? And like the sucker I am, I've gone ahead and got myself a Lego Optimus Prime. This box is massive. Huge box. The fact that it actually transforms is what sold me. Well, it sold me. They sold it to me, but you get my point. So this is something that it was two of my childhood loves combined into one, and it's here now. In terms of a video, I'm sure there are a million review videos out there already, and I'm not going to try and compete with those. I will do a video, but I am going to take my time and savor the experience, so it won't be anytime soon. And I may not even bother filming the building. I want to just enjoy building it. I've done a few Lego videos in the past, and I just felt so much pressure with a camera there, trying to rush it and do it all, blah, blah, blah. I'd rather just savor the experience, take my time and enjoy it. So I'll do a review of it where I open it up, show you what's all contained, and then maybe review the final product. But I definitely will do a video. Now that this has arrived, it got me thinking that I absolutely have to start selling stuff. So I've got a lot of stuff laid out in various piles that I will be soon selling, because with sales tax, the Lego Optimus Prime sent me back $185, which is bloody ridiculous, given that when I was a kid, I used to spend, I don't know, £2 or £3 on those space Lego sets. So yeah, have Optimus Prime, will do a video, but it was a rather expensive transaction and one that will be rectified by selling stuff. So there we go. Gerard says, Monkey Boy Toys, hello, kind sir. Yes, good to see everyone saying hello to each other. Brian Myers, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Hello, Gerard O'Connor. Yep. Jim Largo. The Snaggletooth. That Vader is pretty cool and probably the only one worth getting. That's kind of what I'm thinking as well. We'll get to that very soon. My God, there's tons of chat here. Matt Luty. Hiya there, my friend. Good to see you. Biker Scout 74. Hey there. Good to see you too. AMW85. Obi-Wan Limp Bobby. Show's not great. You see, I've heard mixed reviews on this. Some are loving it, some are hating it, so I'm not sure where I would fall yet. Chris, good to see you. Yeah, I'm good, Chris. Hope you're doing well too. Always a pleasure having you here watching. Paul Pacific, hello everyone, and cheers to you. I just wish they would make retro Return of the Jedi figures. Exactly. Well, not even if they are holding out to do that as the 40th anniversary next year, fair enough. But my God, there are not a million, but you get my point. There are a ton of Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back figures they should release first. Excuse me. Love the pics of the new Boba, Chris. Yeah, it's a beautiful chromed Boba Fett figure. Stunning, actually. Hey, Gerard. Yesterland Toys. First time here. Looking forward to the video and chat. Oh, well, welcome and thank you for stopping by. It's very kind of you. Watching this while doing my German homework. I know that you're of the younger generation. I'm not sure if you're in the UK or America. I think it's the UK. If that's the case, I would have had French homework at your age. You're doing great, sir. I don't know if that's aimed at me or not. Slenty, cheers, man. I apologize for butchering the Irish there. And maybe you can clarify how to say that. Is it slante, slant? I'm terrible with foreign languages. I do apologize. Just opening my Mando Retro Wave 2 as we speak. Speaking of which, those are... that's coming to me, I think, tomorrow. It was part of my pile of loot at Big Bad Toy Store. And I had to have it sent to me because there's a Batmobile coming that I need for the upcoming Batman 66 collection video. And so I guess I'll review those as well. Yeah, Retro Collection really isn't what it was supposed to be, in my opinion. Chris says, "Don't worry about your live streams, mate. I love watching them." Oh, thank you. Nice to hear that. Anthony, good to see you, man. Hey, Dean, good to see you too. It's the Knights of Old. I agree with all you're saying, Dean, except your opinion of the best version of Hallowed Be Thy Name. So are you... Okay, let me get this straight. I've said in the past that I'm not necessarily a fan of the original recording of Number of the Beast. I like the live versions that Nico McBrain plays. Please clarify if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I just never got into Clive Burr's drumming. I know it's not cool to say that, given that he's passed away, but I do prefer Nico McBrain's drumming. Hey, Chris, I was wondering, have you ever tried tackling a probe droid? It would be great to see what you could do. But isn't that just... Hang on, probe droid. Is that the ball with the needle? Or am I thinking of Probot on Hoth? Again, my Star Wars knowledge isn't the best. We wouldn't be here if we didn't like you. Well, thank you, Kieran. Newbie Moosehead, it really blows that things are getting so expensive. Oh my God, tell me about it. It's ridiculous. Thankfully, I'm not a modern collector because it seems that every second week they're announcing new, what is it, Black Series, vintage collections, and all these Marvel things. I could never keep up with that. It's just insane. Amazing work, man, Chris. Hope there's more to... Oh, yeah. He is the best in the business. Absolutely. I have a toy budget for each month. I spent June's in the last week of May. Yeah, I hear you. Jared's asking, how many pieces to that Prime? It contains 1,508 pieces. That's a reasonable sized set. Whoa, that looks amazing. And it transformed. Yeah, that was the selling point. Had it not transformed, I would not have bothered. But the fact that it does really did push me over the edge. Excuse me. Don't tell the bank manager. Exactly. I've got another jump here. Holy crap. That Prime is beyond. Yeah, absolutely it is. It's one of these things that when it came up, my instinct was saying, do not do it. But my heart was like, my God, you got to get a Lego Optimus Prime that transforms. It's like two of my childhood loves in one. 185, my goodness, absolutely. Yeah. No, a probe droid doesn't interest me. Yeah. Just to clarify in the chat, probe droid, is that the one that Vader put on Leia with the needle? Like it's just a ball, wasn't it? Like a floating ball. Probe droid. Again, I apologize for not being a complete Star Wars nerd. Tree Theodore, so good to see you and welcome. Okay, I love what you do. Yeah, I think we all do. Hello, everything 80s. Almost all things 80s. From the 3 episodes I've seen, I've liked it. Some of the scenes, like the chase, can be pretty jarring. I'm hoping they do Return of the Jedi next before another Disney Plus show like the last few years. Yeah. Just to clarify, I'm not against Disney or whatever it is they're doing. I just haven't found the time to watch the Kenobi series. I almost started last Saturday, and I was just looking at YouTube, and there was a video of someone making Scotch pies, and it was a 20-minute video. I clicked on that and got so engrossed. I watched more Scotch pie videos, and before I knew it, it was time to go to bed. No Kenobi. Then so Mrs. 88 is off on Sundays and Mondays, and those nights we were watching Stranger Things. So I promise I will watch it. Maybe this time next week I'll have seen all the episodes. Who knows? I hope so. Retro collection wise. Okay, gotcha. Unfortunately, Disney keeps pulling the bait and switch. The most recent Star Wars shows and writing is dreadful. Disney getting a bit too woke, and I think I might need to get in that Transformers Lego. Yeah, well, I think most things are getting a bit too woke these days, unfortunately. Yeah, the Lego Transformers. I mean, like I said, when you combine two iconic properties that most of us grew up with, it's very hard to resist. Thank you, Dean. Thanks for taking the time to go through all the chats and recognize your audience. Well, it's the right thing to do. I mean, if everyone who's watching this has taken the time out of their day to watch whatever nonsense that I'm spouting, it's only right that I give everyone some acknowledgement to the best of my ability. Slon Cha would be the correct pronunciation. Okay. Slon Cha. And I get, is that like cheers? I can say it in Thai, like that's Chon Gao. But so we've got cheers, Slon Cha, Chon Gao. What about, can someone tell us the French? Maybe Tree Theodore can give us the Swedish. And I want to hear French, German, and Spanish for cheers. Just opened the box with the retro cards, all creased. Bloody Hasbro yet again. Just goes to show you how, when we looked at the CFCB Unlimited mask figures last week, how good those card backs were. Absolutely solid. And I can guarantee you, if Amazon were to ship one of those, they wouldn't crease. They are that thick. I don't know why Hasbro keeps cheaping out. Stan Solo, I need that Chrome Boba Fett in my life. Will you be making any Dark Troopers? Is Dark Trooper just like a black stormtrooper? Is that the thing from Mandalorian? Again, I apologize for not being a complete Star Wars nerd. Nika McBrain for the win. Thank you, sir. I absolutely agree with that. I love the content you guys are putting out from over the pond. Cheers too. And oh, well, thank you. Whoop whoop. Thought this vid and boom, it's live. Oh, okay. You thought it was a video. Okay, no. We are absolutely live. Next up, I think the best version of Hallowed is, I think, the Beast version. No, it's too slow, and I hate the hi-hat on the Clive Burr version. It's just me, of course. You got the Lego Optimus. That's awesome. Yeah, it is awesome, but my God, what a price for a Lego set. Absolutely insane. And interestingly enough, on the side, it does say Lego and Hasbro. So obviously Hasbro had to have their little logo stuck on there as well. Red Room Diecast. Hi, Dean. Hi, chat. Hello to you. When Todd McFarlane worked on the 66 Batmobile, Todd really did a terrible job. Yes and no. I think for the price point, it's a wonderful value for money item. Excuse me. The only issue I have with it is that it's just too small for the figures. I don't know how they managed to get that wrong. Also, the packaging is not good. It's open to getting them damaged. But for a $30 piece, I think it's damn good value for money, and it looks good on its own. It's only when you put the figures in that it looks a bit silly. But how that went through testing and quality control, and no one thought to think, maybe we should make this slightly larger. I don't know how that happened. Well, my Lego Batman bust had half that many pieces. Lego is always, yeah, it is a fun time. And that's why I'm saying I'm not going to do a video of the building of it because I want to enjoy it. I just know that as a kid, I always rushed myself to get it finished and add it to the rest of the Space Lego pieces or the Lego Town pieces. This time I want to take my time and just savor the moment. And thankfully, because it's all done bag by bag, you can say, okay, I'll do one bag today, one bag tomorrow type thing. You can really extend it and just enjoy it. I spent my 2022 budget in 2021. Shh, don't tell anyone about my pre-orders. Yeah, pre-orders, that's a real, I was going to say scunner, that's a real Scottish word. Yeah, pre-orders are getting to be a bit ridiculous. I think currently, pre-order wise at Big Bad Toy Store, in fact, I can look it up, and I am making use of their what do you call this, pile of loot. I'm just being nosy again. Hang on. We have yeah, we have the same conflicting live stream. Anyway, that's not my problem. I've got twice as many people watching. Anyway, Big Bad Toy Store, the pre-order situation is okay. For me, I have no access to any shops, department stores, big box stores. So for me, ordering online is basically my only way of buying stuff. However, if I were in a position to be in another state with a car, I would be going to the Targets, etc. myself to buy stuff. Good Lord, it says I've got 16 items on pre-order, view pre-orders. So we have the Playmobil Star Trek, with the exception of, I guess it's the Discovery Show stuff, which I've not even watched. So I've got the Khan figure, we've got the original Enterprise, the original Phaser, we have the Data figure, the Riker figure, the Picard figure, the Admiral Kirk, and the Captain Spock. We've got Masters of the Universe, Origins, Tila and Zor, exclusive. And that's saying it's going to come in the third quarter of this year. And then most recently, we have the Masters of the Universe Origins. So we've got Snout Spout, Leech, Pighead, Mantenna, and the two that I may end up cancelling, which is the 200X Skeletor and He-Man. I'm not really liking how those ones look, so those may have to go. Although I have, up to this point, obtained every retail release, with the exception of the Flocked Panther. I don't have that, and I have, I think, two of the Mattel Creations. That's the weird colored Triclops and the shiny Sunman. So I don't know. Jar is laughing. Probably my bad pronunciation. Probe Droid is the spidery one on Hoth. But wasn't that called Probot? Okay, again, I'm probably going to lose this as the chat keeps progressing, but I need clarification. I think, and again, I could be wrong, Probot was the one on Hoth that I think Han or Chewbacca shot. Probe Droid, I thought, was the floating ball with the needle that probed Princess Leia's mind. Scotch pie with beans on top with HP brown sauce poured all over it. I wouldn't put beans on. To me, the beans are too sweet. The HP sauce, absolutely. And as it happens, so almost exactly 2 years ago, my brother in Scotland sent over a little package, and contained within that were 2 bottles of Gold Star chip shop sauce. And I went through the first one in record time. The second one I've been savoring, and it's almost gone. And I could not find any brown sauce at all. However, the import section of my local supermarket just brought in a ton of stuff. So they had Heinz salad cream, got that. They had Daddy's brown sauce. I got 2 of those, and Branston pickle. So I'm thinking, when I finally finish the Gold Star chip shop sauce, I'm going to put some Daddy's into that and add some malt vinegar, give it a good shake, and hopefully that will become chip shop sauce, which is great on a Scotch pie. Unfortunately, Obi-Wan has lived up to my expectations. Disney indeed pushed the storyline close to Leia, and they have ruined this one at home. Like, I've seen a few what could be classed as being spoilers. I know that Princess Leia appears, and some have suggested that the show is focusing more on the girl who I guess Disney suggested was getting racial abuse or something. Reva. I don't know. Who knows? But I mean, I've still not finished Book of Boba Fett, you know. I wouldn't have thought they would have made her a main character in a million years. Oh, is that Leia? I guess. Yeah. Okay, Monkey Boy is telling us Nazdrovje. Okay. What's Russia? Russian, I think someone can, that's a pretty clear one, is it not? With the vodka, I don't know. Tree has told us about the Swedish. Skål. I've had a thing come into my head. What the hell were Skål Bandits? Was that chewing tobacco in Scotland? But Skål, also Skål was a very cheap lager, I seem to recall. Bjorn, for your information, the price is increasing on this set about $10, I believe. Is that the Optimus? Wow. I mean, imagine that. It's close to $200 for a set of Lego. It's insane. We are all Viking by now, yes. Thought I'd join a fellow Scotsman in a drink. Just opened a William Brothers Caesar Augustus Lager APA Hybrid. That's a mouthful. I just remembered my pre-orders on BBTS. Gulp. Yeah. I will say this. I think once something becomes available, they charge you the basic for the cost of that item, and it goes into your pile of loot. Only when you take the pile of loot do they charge you the sales tax and the $4 shipping, which I think is fantastic. But yeah, it's something I do need to keep an eye on. How we all? I think we're all good. I'm good. Have you seen the documentary classic albums, Number of the Beast? Yep, I've seen them all. I absolutely love that kind of thing, seeing the backstory to how an album is made. And when they play those isolated tracks, it's so good. It really is. Absolutely love that series. Probe Droid and the Probot are the same thing. Okay, so what is the name of the floating ball that had the needle on it? That's the thing I don't really know. Probe Droid. But what was that droid probing on Hoth? That's my question. The droid with the needle on the Death Star was an interrogation droid. Okay, I see. Probot and probe droid are the same thing. Okay. Now, here's another question. Is that classed as a classic Kenner figure or just part of a playset? To me, it's part of a playset, but let's see what others think. Clayton Marchetti, I believe the floating droid on the Death Star was called an interrogation droid. Well, thank you. That's good to hear. You beat me to it. Fake wood table. Probe droid equals Hoth. Interrogation droid equals Death Star. Wow. Again, given that I've not watched or I've not finished watching the Book of Boba Fett, or indeed even started watching the Kenobi show, some will be questioning my Star Wars credentials. I will say this. As a kid in the 80s, Star Wars for me was all about the Kenner toys, especially given the fact that I saw the movies in the wrong sequence way, way after the fact. So when it comes to Star Wars mythology, you can ask me about the figures and I'm quite knowledgeable. Ask me about the whole history of Star Wars and the timeline. Not so much. Do I care? Not in the slightest. I like what I like, and I am proud to be somewhat different, I guess. Holy crap. Zadrovi, is that right? I think, yep. Or Nastrovie. The funny thing is, I was chasing, well, this is going back many, many years here in America. There was this broad working at this bar we used to go to, which was a hellhole in the seediest part of Manhattan. And she was Mongolian, so her language was Russian. Nastrovie. Yeah, that may have been that. I tried to learn that at one time. Bjorn says it's the interrogation droid. Okay. So again, what was Probot probing apart from the ice? I don't know. Biker Scott, doesn't that mean bless you after you sneeze? That's usually when we say it. Okay. Only one Kenobi. Awesome. Good to see you. You can't beat a British beer glass with the handle and dimples. I agree, however. This sadly is not a British one. I got this one at the local dollar store, and it only contains 16 ounces, which is the American pint. The British pint is 20 ounces, so it's 4 ounces too small, but it looks the part. It really does. And I would give anything to go into a bar and be served beer in one of these. This is classic. In fact, do you still get any beer glasses with a handle these days? When I was there back in 2019, it was all these like real fancy, sculpted, etched glasses that just did not look good to me. Give me a simple one any day of the week. Probe Droid and Hoth was searching for rebels when Han and Chewie found it and destroyed it. Right. So I guess they were probing for rebels then. It's just a strange name for a... Shouldn't it be called like the scouting droid or something? Not sure, but that means Zazdrovie. I always get confused. My Russian is really rusty. Yeah, and my Russian is non-existent. Dark Side Biker. So we've got two bikers back to back. The interrogation droid was named ITO. ITO. Okay. Nick says, yes, that means cheer. Yes, that means cheers in Russian, right? We think so. The probe droids were sent out with the intention of finding signs of life. So they were probing for life. Tez is here. It says, that's a vintage pint. Well, I would say it's based on a vintage pint. Sadly, it was purchased in, I think, 2019 or 2000. No, it would have been 2020 or 2021 from a Chinese-operated dollar store. In other words, it's all just junk they sell. But I thought, that's kind of cool. Give me 2 of those for $1 each. And it's Aop Biker and only one Kenobi. Aop lad. Oop should be what? Would that be UPE? Oop. Aop lad. I don't know. Terrible at these accents. I lived in Moscow for a while, and locals kept telling me the difference between Nastrovie and Zastrovie. I still can't remember which is which. Interesting fact, in Thailand, let me get this straight in my head first. Okay, Dok Klong means it's okay, no problem. Dok Tong means bitch. So you have to be very careful with that. Chris says, I'm with you, Dean. I've never bought a Star Wars figure since 1983. I don't like modern. I was very kindly gifted a retro Tarkin and the Luke Snow Trooper. They were okay, but card back were terrible. Oh, yeah. The current modern card backs are an absolute farce. I mean, excuse me, they're worrying about plastic, but I guess they're saving the trees by giving us crappy card backs. Hey, Tez. Okay. Yeah, that's something that is like a foreign language to me. Wilma Dickfit, one of the best names on the internet. Hello to you, sir. Probots were searching for rebels because here the rebels are. I'm sure Skywalker is with them. Okay. Diebog Tabia. No idea what that works, what that means. Because I saw part of Tez's thing. Tez is at work. He's a ninja at the moment. Okay. It means God be with you. Okay. Yesh is how Sean Connery says yesh. What was the yesh, mish money penny. Yesh. Shite for sure eyes. Evening all, just been filming a video on this very subject. Not old-fashioned pint pots. Well, obviously Hasbro won't put out Return of the Jedi collection until the 40th. Yeah, which is stupid because I've said this many times. It was pure coincidence the Empire fell on the 40th anniversary. The Star Wars figures came out. When was that? 2019, which was 2 years after the fact. They got lucky with the Empire line, and they've, in my opinion, they've just ruined this whole line with all these modern shows being put into retro. And I promise we will get to that very soon. I'm just trying to catch up with this chat, which is just crazy. Megapint, Agante Megapint, saludos from Argentina. Agante, I know that from the Megadeth when the Argentinian fans sing along with Symphony of Destruction. It's like, Megadeth, Megadeth, Agante Megadeth. Yep. Oh, I know some Argentinian. Or is that just Spanish? Or Port? Oh, shit. I'm making a fool of myself here. According to Wikipedia, the probe droids were sent as part of Project Swarm, which was successful because the probe droids found the Hoth base. Okay. Just going to don't go to Japan if your name is Gary. In Japan, it's pronounced Jiri, which means diarrhea. Huh. Oh, in Thailand, so Kee is shit. Kitak is wet diarrhea shit, which I learned very quickly in Thailand, and you can understand why. Imperial pint, 20 ounces. In other words, a mega pint. Luke is here. Hey, Dean, sorry I'm a little late, just getting caught up. Oh, there's no need to apologize. Never any need. My God, I cannot get caught up here. Sean Connery, what a shite for short eyes. Just did that gag. Ha. Hey, Luke, how you doing, mate? That impression was spot on. Was that the Sean Connery one? I hope so. Yes, Miss Mucky Fanny. Fantastic. Hey, Biker, I'm good. Monkey Boy. Hey, Luke Reynolds, sir. Gerard says, I like the retro style figure, as my baby brother had our house full of those god-awful Power of the Force figures way back when. Yeah, now those were some truly awful figures, although I did buy a few in the mid-90s to supplement my collection that obviously I stopped buying Star Wars in the spring of 84. Then when they began appearing again on shelves in the mid-90s, I bought a few that I didn't have, such as Garindan and the Han Solo in carbonite, but they just looked ridiculous with those big bulky shoulders. Just glad Sean Connery never asked Moneypenny to sit in his lap. Yeah, that would have been a big mistake, or a messy mistake. Obi-Wan, only one. Yeah, Mandy, I'm not into the modern stuff going straight into retro. It's a nonsense. It is indeed. And where are we in this? Good Lord, 43 minutes. Okay, I'm going to get caught up. I'll probably go for a quick pee break, and I'm going to put up the link. So if anyone wishes to join, they can do so. And I even, for the first time ever, have prepared a slideshow to look at these figures one by one, and we can all give our commentary on that. The only thing I have to say on the plastic packaging issue is that it's not toy packages that I see littering the streets on a Saturday or Sunday morning. It's takeaway polystyrene boxes. Yep, it certainly is. Now, my little town back in Scotland, when we were there back, my God, it's almost 3 years ago. Can't believe that. They opened a McDonald's of all places down the way. And to get to it from my old house, we had this nice walk, which used to be the old railway line, and it's all been paved over. But as you walk down that, as you got closer and closer to the big Tesco and McDonald's, you would see all that shit lying on the side. This beautiful, or what should be a beautiful scenic walk, was just littered with crap from McDonald's. Absolutely disgusting. I love that you and the viewers are mixing metal and toys. It's a great, certainly is. It's as good a combo as it gets, actually, except maybe a hamburger and fries. Speaking of which, I had my first fast food in years the other day. So Mrs. 88 and I had the dentist on Monday, which is quite a walk away. Excuse me. Actually, as it happens, it's 20 odd blocks that way. And after we got done there, no work needed, thankfully. We're walking back, a little bit hungry. So we went into a Burger King, and they now have a hamburger that emulates the Big Mac. And it's almost as good as a Big Mac, actually. Not quite, but almost. So I think most people agree that Burger King have better fries than McDonald's, which means you can get the good fries and what is very much almost a Big Mac at Burger King. Fun fact. Not bad. Look, just opening my recently acquired wave of creased Retro Mando Wave 2s. Can pie? Cheers. Okay. I think I've said this before, but before my dad died in 2019, we were all booked up to go to Thailand with a trip to Japan. And I was watching all these videos and all these Japanese steakhouses with the Wagyu. and I was like salivating watching these videos, and I began to sort of try to learn the basics of Japanese, and that was one that I do remember trying to learn. But I don't know if Japan is open to tourists yet or not. Soda Cauldron. They have milked the retro collection vibe. The first batch of Mandalorian retro figures are selling for 1/3 of the price. Totally killed the vibe they were intending to create. Absolutely. Yeah, I think they were badly creased. If you're selling your oh no, oh, can't do that, I'm afraid. Those are absolute classics in the collection. I may be getting rid of various Transformer boxes and some Lego and things very soon. Ray Sistvens, the new retro figures rock. Okay. Go Drain the Snake. Almost. I'm getting close. Yeah, I've reached that point where I may have to go very soon. A bad enough look. I was going to keep them carded, but I think I'll open them now. I picked up Marvel Legends retro figures the first time. Card back is super solid. Yeah. It's just bizarre that Hasbro's other properties get good card backs. For some reason, they neglect the Star Wars ones. McDonald's fries stopped being good after they stopped frying them in beef tallow in the 1990. Again, going back to Scotland, I was at it was like a sit-in chip shop on Leith Walk, and their chips or French fries were cooked in beef dripping. Fantastic. Delicious. Yeah, the card backs I hear are pretty good on Marvel retros. Can you not exchange them for better ones? Yeah. So I don't know. No need to apologize. Yes, Luke from Star Action, but I think I saw a Facebook post and that they all come like that from the factory. No, keep those G1 boxes. Yeah, but I only have, I think, 2 or 3 genuine G1s from the 80s. The rest are all reissues, but I did check on eBay, and those are selling for decent enough money, given that they're currently taking up space in storage boxes. So it's not necessarily a big, it's not going to be a loss, because I don't see them. As things stand, they're either they're in storage boxes in a closet, or they're under the bed in storage boxes. So it makes no odds to me whether or not I keep them in my collection. Hang on, what happened here? Speaking of fast food, I'm all about Scotch eggs. Never heard of a Scotch pie before. This stream, what's up with the Scots and battered Mars bars? Or was something telling me? No, the deep fried Mars bar, it's a dessert item best served with ice cream, in my opinion. I would never walk into a chip shop, buy a deep fried Mars bar and just scoff it on the street. That it's too sickly sweet for that. But with ice cream, delicious. Leith Walk has changed so much now, all being dug up for the extended tram lines. Ah, that's a pity. McDonald's now sprinkles sugar while it's cooking. What the hell? Everything. You see, this is what I mean. It's becoming Americanized, because in the UK, baked beans are not necessarily that sweet. In America, to me, American baked beans are unedible because they're so sweet and sickly. I buy Heinz or Bachelors on the import aisle in my supermarket, but I'm sad to hear that McDonald's are putting sugar on their fries. That's terrible. That is unacceptable. Ah, whoa, we have a super chat. Tree Theodore, thank you so much, sir. That is incredibly kind of you. Excuse me. Your video on Smith's Bantha convinced me to vote with my wallet. You sparked my curiosity and nostalgia and explained the importance of supporting the creator. Thanks, chum. Well, thank you so much, Tree. And yes, there are currently 2 Banthas for sale. One is clearly a quality product that exists and gets shipped. The other is a very poor quality poured resin product that may or may not be shipped, along with the, well, now 12 figures that have been waiting for almost 3 years for. And as I am blocked from the Facebook group, I don't know what the current status of those is. Nice one, TT. Yes, nice one indeed. Now, we've reached that point in the show where I've consumed enough ale pre-show and on-show that I do need to relieve myself. Before doing so, I will attempt to post a link should anyone wish to join this chat as we go and dive deep into this new wave of retro collection, which in my opinion is anything but retro. I did this successfully last week. I hope I can do this again. Not that one. Maybe it's this one. Okay, copy the clipboard. That's copied. Now, if I post this here, hopefully this will appear. Now, did it work? I think that worked. Now, I am going to mute my microphone that I failed to do last week, and everyone heard the sound of me piddling. I will also put up a holding screen that will tell you all I will be right back. So as this screen is about to say, and we have 68 people watching, which is just mind-blowing, I'm going to put this up right now that says be right back. I'm going to mute my microphone while I have a quick wee-wee. So I will see you in less than 90 seconds, I hope. Ha! I'm back and I washed my hands. Don't worry, everybody. And we already have someone waiting in the background. It's someone that you will remember from last week. Monkey Boy.
Greetings. Good afternoon / evening, sir.
Good evening. It's good to see you again. Wonderful. Now, since I've been gone, the chat has moved on again. I'm going to try and get this caught up with as soon as possible, and then we can talk about these new figures.
Yeah, let's do it.
And again, I just want to stress, if anyone else wishes to come on, the link is there, and feel free to use it. I'm an American, and I don't even like our baked beans. Beans should be served warm, salt and pepper, and whatever. So, yeah, exactly. Why they put sugar in baked beans just blows my mind. And it's just not pleasant to me. Anyway, I work for McDonald's. That guy's crazy. We've never put sugar on our fries. Okay, that makes me feel slightly better, I guess. I had a deep fries Mars bar with ice cream at the Royal Mile Tavern in Edinburgh. It was fantastic, but it felt it took decades of my life. Diabetic nightmare. Yeah. That's me. That's if anyone else wishes to join. Please feel free to step in, and if you wish to comment on these new figures. Once you pop, you just can't stop. Well, that's it. We call it breaking the seal. We can, I can go typically. I mean, today it wasn't much, but typically 4, 5, 6 pints, no problem. You take that first pee, and that is it. You're gone every 5 minutes of the rest of the night. Chris says, thank you to Tree Theodore for the comment and support. Yeah, good on you, Tree. And thank you. Howdy, Ray. Hope you're well, sir. Simply stating what I've been informed. Yeah. Chris, I bought your R2D2 in the Boba Fett color way. Sits pride of place in front of my TV. Yeah. Nice. I love those variations on the droids. Fantastic. Pride of place, indeed. Boom. Hello, on-screen monkey boy.
Hello, Kieran. Hello.
Hey, Life of Brian has joined in. Howdy to you, sir. Fantastic. Now, to discuss these figures, I have compiled a slideshow, which I hope works. So, have you seen these in advance, Monkey Boy?
I have. I have seen the promotional images of them. I'm not quite sure what I made of them. Okay. A couple of them I liked the look of. A couple of them I didn't. So.
Right. So anyway,
I quite like the look of the Grand Inquisitor. That looked pretty cool, but the others I'm yet to be sold on.
So hopefully this works. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. This one is now here's again. I'm coming into this having not watched the show, so I'm not sure what the context is. But that as a standalone figure looks like something Fisher-Price might have made, in my opinion.
I mean, it's not the best, is it? I mean,
no, but I think we have a few more images. So this is slightly better, but I can't tell if that cape has a hood to it or not, because it's very much like the sort of coat that Han Solo was given on the Endor Kenner figure with those lapels.
I think it does. It looks like it has a hood at the back there, but that might just be a really puffy sleeve. I'm not sure. It looks hoodie. It does look hoodie.
We have another guest. This is the Knights of Old.
Sure. It looks hoodie. It does look hoodie.
We have another guest. This is.
Hello.
Hello there, sir.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I figured I'd chime in too. I haven't seen them, but I know.
So, is this your first time seeing these figures?
Yeah.
So, what do you think initially?
So, the goal here is to have these seamlessly fit in with the 80s ones. Is that what they're trying to do?
I believe so. Yeah.
I feel like the head looks a little cartoony.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I don't know about the. Ooh, that looks a little weird and bulky to me, but I mean, I feel like it would stick out for sure, as opposed to like some of those other guys who make the retro style Leia, and I forget his name, but
Now, to me, what I think has happened is Hasbro has the ability to make pretty damn good looking figures based on their, I guess they call it, is it face printing technology or something? And they have just taken these figures and just dumbed them down on purpose. Mm-hmm. And it's almost to the point where I think it's insulting to expect us to be forking out good money for this.
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
It is. And
I'd be curious what that, do they have a shot of that without the cloak?
Yep, we had that. Let me see. There we go.
I feel like it's close, but something about it seems almost more like the Fisher-Price adventure people to me.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking as well. So
yeah,
I'm
dumbed down, like you said, I think is a good
it's a dumbed down. And given that they've proven they can do pretty accurate figures, this is not something that I would be forking over money for. And when they first did retro collection here in America, I believe it was like $10 for a figure. These are now, I think, $13. So they're putting the price up on these.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
It's getting a bit silly now.
Next up, now this is interesting. This is Darth Vader.
I didn't mind the look of him. I must say, I quite like the red lenses.
Yeah.
Not sure how I feel about the cloth cape. Yeah, I'm sort of meh about that.
Yeah, interestingly enough, they only ever did one Darth Vader figure back in the day. So what they gave us in 78 was what it was for the entire line. And when they began doing these removable lightsabers, Vader never got one. So now he finally gets one. I kind of like that. But my question is the body an upgraded version on the original one that we all had as kids?
I have it here.
Is that the new one?
No, the old.
The old one, so the original. If I can, how do I make... Okay. So it's similar, I guess. Yeah.
It does. It has that similar kind of dumb downing.
Yeah.
And the leg looks a little weird from here, but I can't tell what that is.
Yeah. I'm just going to catch up with the chat here quickly. The sugar comes in the prep at the factory. They're parboiled in mild sugar water mix, cooled to frozen, fried to seal shape, cooled and frozen again. That's the McDonald's French fries. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Soft goods. Yep, soft goods this time. I guess they're trying to sort of replicate what was done in like 83, 84. Jason, good to see you. Chris, thank you so much. Thanks to everyone here who supports Stan Solo and keep doing your live streams, Dean. Well, thank you from Stan Solo team in the UK, Chris, and his little helpers, Ronan and Crozers. Well, thank you so much, Chris. That Obi would defo stand out in the original lineup. Yeah, it does not fit at all. Jedi Jesus looking like Obi-Wan. Hang on, what's Knight's showing us? Let me just bring you out here.
I really feel like these figures so far would go great with the adventure people.
Yeah.
Look how simple and kind of shiny and flat.
Exactly.
Are. Kind of they look squishy, moldy, kind of.
Yeah. It's like they've just tried to dumb down the figures, and it's not really working, in my opinion. The red lightsaber looks terrible. I don't know. It's
I quite like those. I quite like the sabers.
Yeah, like I said earlier, we only ever got the one Vader as kids, so it's nice to have an alternative, I guess. These aren't made for us; they're made for the mass consumer of Disney Star Wars. Yeah, probably. But then, who are the vintage collection aimed at? Because those are far better looking figures. The original figures were sculpted by hand in clay and wax. I would guess these are done in some CAD program. There's something lacking for me when the human element is removed. Yeah, absolutely. I think I'd be getting 4 or 5 out of a lineup of 6. Yeah. Again, when we get to the other ones, it's characters I've not even seen on screen yet. Like the cloth cape, but not the legs. New Vader looks a lot skinnier, and that cape is a bit crap. Yeah, I mean, let me see if I can... Yeah. It's okay, I guess. Very much like the same fabric as the Luke Skywalker Jedi figure, though. So far, they look like very poor bootlegs. Vader has been fasting, it seems. Yeah, exactly. Punch that thumbs up, mofos. Well, thank you, Gerard. Made for us who have mass nostalgia for the original Star Wars movies. Yep, that's exactly it. So moving on, this I'm guessing is what, Grand Inquisitor?
Yeah, I like this one. I like the look of this one. I like the vinyl cape. I like the face sculpt. I like the paint apps. This is the standout figure in the line for me in the wave.
Yeah, I think I like this one too. But it's still like, if you compare that to the detail in something like this, they're just kind of missing a lot of small like, not that, I mean, obviously they're trying to have a lot of detail in here because of the fabric, but like there's a density of detail that I feel is purposely lacking in those other ones, which is kind of interesting, but it does make them stick out.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool to say.
Yeah. So in the show, does that lightsaber spin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like a combination of being dumbed down and slightly too advanced to fit in with Kenner. There's like too much sculpting on the arm there, but the head looks a bit dumbed down, given that I'm assuming that figure is also available in Vintage Collection. Is that right?
I believe so. And if I'm not mistaken, the lightsaber on that one does spin, but I might have imagined that. I'm not sure.
Right. Okay. Now this, I have no idea who this is. Any suggestions?
I don't know the name, but it was in there. It was in the episode 2 or 3. Yeah.
Right. But now, does this droid play a big enough role to justify having a figure made?
Yeah. I would. It's difficult to say at this point. I mean,
so.
it was a good character, but this figure really sticks out like a sore thumb in the wave. This doesn't look retro at all.
No. I mean, going back to the old Kenner days with the droids that we had, all the limbs were like one color.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, thinking back, I think all the droids were pretty much one color, with a few little bits of detail here and there. This thing is too advanced to fit in with Kenner, whereas some of the other stuff has been really dumbed down to the point where it looks too stupid to fit in with Kenner. It's a very mixed bag here.
Yeah, the closest would be the interrogation droid from Jabba's palace. I don't have that one, but I would say that might be the closest.
But even that had the limbs. I think were all just the one color. Yeah, and is that like a hammer of sorts that he's holding, or?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So that's him again. Now this one, when I was grabbing these images, this is like fifth brother or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fifth brother. So this is now the third time they've used this lightsaber in the line. So they're obviously making good use of that mold. This one, obviously, again, I'm at a disadvantage because I've not actually seen the show as yet. Does this look anything like the on-screen version?
It's similar. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's as good as can be expected for this line. I really like the character in the show. He's always whispering like this.
He looks kind of happy here in this figure.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
Not on the show.
Right. And this is the last image. This one was released prior to the other ones. But hang on, is that the same lightsaber? No, it's not actually.
No, it's slightly different.
Yeah, full circle and half circle. Okay. So I was wrong to suggest it was the same one. I liked, but then again, I don't like how they've mixed vinyl with soft goods in the same line.
I like that cape, though, I have to say.
Yeah, yeah. But the point was that back in the day, obviously Empire Strikes Back contained a mix of vinyl and fabric, but from the Jedi line onwards, it was only fabric that was used.
These look so shiny. I'm not sure if that's something that detracts from it as well.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the shine face figures. I mean, I think it's a problem that, and with this new face printing technology that they're using, is all well and good. Some of the details look fantastic, but they always look so wet all the time.
Yeah. So I think that concludes the slideshow. Yes, it does. So let me just remove that, and we can get back to the chat to see what the viewers are thinking of these. So CFCB says, I think Hasbro's starting to make these style hang on, let me just bring this up. There we go. It
just reminds me of a real lot of these Fisher-Price ones.
Yeah.
They're shiny, kind of more round edges.
Yeah, simple. Yeah. A much simpler time back then. But that's my point about why it feels as if Hasbro have dumbed down these figures on purpose, and I think it's gone to their disadvantage a little bit. The Grand Inquisitor looks like Gail Porter. Now, interesting fact. Now, so Knights of Old, I don't know if you know who Gail Porter is. She was a Scottish TV star back in the 90s, I believe. And she was an absolute stunner to the point where her image was beamed onto, was it the Houses of Parliament?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was, yeah.
Like she was like a real beautiful looking broad. And sadly, she had, I guess it's alopecia, and all her hair fell out. And it's really unfortunate. But so she's from Edinburgh, and my dad knew her dad, and I was begging my dad, please, can you introduce me to Gail Porter? My dad wouldn't do it. In hindsight, and this is so shallow, I'm glad he didn't, because she has obviously the disease has taken its toll, and she is not quite the same looker she was back in the 90s. Let's put it that way. But yes, I see your point there, AWM85. I don't mind the Vader. The crutch is correct. Look at this. So, yeah, absolutely.
Just kind of reminds me, it shows like what Kenner was trying, all the more surface detail they in on theirs.
Yeah.
Nice. I can't see a translucent figure without thinking of the clones in the Split Seconds range of mask toys.
That's
I always
correct.
think about whenever I see a translucent figure.
So Chris is saying, if I was to change anything, it would be the molded cape on the legs. I'm not keen on the eyes, to be honest, but it's okay. So this is about Vader, I guess. So CFCB is asking if Chris tried to reach him earlier. And I'm also, again, going back to the video a week or two back, it's so good that everyone is now on the same page as far as the custom world is concerned. The GI figure looks very good, but again, the weapon looks odd. Yeah, I mean, once I get caught up, I'll give you my thoughts on how this whole line has been handled. But the Inquisitor looks great, but the hilt of the saber needs tone gray, then it would be near perfect. Yeah, but the old Kenner sabers were just the one color as well. Hasbro have got these mixed up. The Obi-Wan retro should have had vinyl, and the Mandalorian should have had soft goods. That's if they want to match timeline. Yep, exactly. And Nick says, no, that's not the issue. Not available in TVC. It's criminal. I do apologize. I forget what figure we're talking about here. It's the chat has moved on too much. It doesn't look like a Star Wars character figure. Yeah, I agree with that. The Grand Inquisitor. Okay, so Nick said, so that's not available in Vintage Collection.
Oh, okay. I don't know where I thought I saw that.
He's a loader droid. So what's he loading?
Stuff.
Stuff. Okay.
Space stuff.
Space. Perfect. It's not a bad droid, but I bet the plastic is much softer than I'd remember. I just know that on the Vintage Collection, the retros that I have thus far, comparing it to the old Kenners, it's a much softer sculpt, not quite as sharp as the old Kenner ones were. Words fail me, says Kieran. Yes, Scott, I was sending images of Boba Fett colors, but I think I've pretty much sorted it. So many images on Google, etc., contradict each other, so it took a while. Yeah. It's a no from me, and I think it's probably a no from me, which is probably a good thing because I don't need to be spending any more money on something that I'm not really happy with. I might buy Vader and the droid. Might. Yeah, I can see that. Bobby L. Collins says, I'm not buying another Hasbro product until they actually produce and ship the G.I. Joe classified figures I pre-ordered last year. Good Lord. That's like 6 months ago. That's awful. Micronauts. Yes. I bought these new Obi-Wan toys. They're in my pile of loot. I haven't decided if I will add them to the collection or do a giveaway on my channel at some point. Yeah, I think this will be the first time I've not ordered or pre-ordered a retro collection. Got to leave the chat and walk the dogs, everyone. I will continue. Have a great... Okay, thank you, Gerard.
See you, dude.
Yeah.
On the feet, on the legs here, it kind of reminds me of what maybe they were trying to do with some of the parts of the droid.
True. Maybe. Yeah, good point.
But I like the like you were saying, some of the older ones. They're all like, this is kind of cool. I mean, it's not Star Wars, but just some more of the time.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Oh wow!
Feel like it would fit with either of these either.
Yeah,
these feel retro for sure, in my opinion.
Right. The yellow robot looks like something more suited to Power Rangers. Go Power Loader. Yeah. There we go. That's a classic Kenner droid. There, it's all pretty much one color. Yeah. Like, I feel as if they've kind of awesome. They've kind of gone too far one way in as much as they've dumbed the humanoids down too much, but they've made the droid a bit too advanced to fit into the retro collection.
They should have put some images of them mingling with the old line if that's what they were going for. You know?
Yeah, because as it is, the first, I mean, I only have the first wave of the Mandalorian retro collection, but those do fit in pretty well with the old Kenner figures. I don't see where these will fit in with a Kenner collection, to be honest.
No.
Yeah.
I don't really like the card backs that they're using for the retro collection. This whole fake weathering damage, it just doesn't look good.
It's terrible, and not only that, the sticker. I managed to remove the sticker quite successfully from the Tarkin figure, which we're now talking, what? Good Lord, 3 years? Was that 3 years ago? It is. It was 2019, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's getting away. Yeah.
I got that off pretty successfully. I tried again on the Luke Skywalker Snowspeeder figure and failed big time.
What method did you use to get them off?
I used lighter fluid.
Right, yeah.
And a very thin guitar pick. It worked a treat on the first one.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if on that droid it had the chrome. It had some chrome like this.
Yeah.
Then it would totally fit in like immediately. We'd be like, okay, cool.
Yeah. for whatever reason, Hasbro has refused to use the old vac metallization technique.
Yeah.
But given that Stan Solo can still do it with great success, how can Hasbro not do it?
There's no excuses, really, is there? Let's be honest.
There really is not. And again, to me, Retro Collection was the perfect vehicle to re-release all these old figures. And before anyone cries and complains, you can tell they are not genuine 70s, 80s figures. But to give people the chance to get hold of them into their collection for $10 or £10 made complete sense to me. And when we think about some of these harder to find classic Kenner figures, especially Last 17, if they were to make them, they would fly off the shelves. There's no question of that. But for whatever reason, they have chosen to now give us 3 waves of non-vintage retro figures.
I know, it's madness. It doesn't make any sense how they can put a retro sticker on something that's this year. It doesn't.
Yeah,
it just doesn't factor in, does it?
But
the best be like $25 anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, I look at that and I'm just like, I'd rather just buy a vintage toy. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the fact was they announced that now. Forgive my pronunciation. Is it Reva or Riva? I don't know.
I think either is fine.
Either or. Well, they announced that retro figure before the show even aired. There is nothing retro about that. And given that she's available, I believe, in Vintage Collection and Black Series, there's no need to do it retro style. And as I keep saying, the Retro Collection was the perfect vehicle for Hasbro to make money and for collectors to complete their vintage Star Wars collection on a budget. But they've completely failed to do that for whatever reason.
Yeah. I mean, I like the fact that the Retro Collection is out there. I'm pleased. I'm pleased that it exists, but I haven't got any of them. I dipped my toe into the vintage collection with the odd sort of few figures of characters that I really liked. But I was basically all in on the Black Series, to be honest, and I've sort of had enough of that now as well.
Yeah.
I picked up a Black Series figure last night. In fact, I got the Luke Skywalker Yavin. The one with the misprint on it, where it says Luke Skywalker, because I just wanted the misprint. I'm running out of steam with the Black Series. So
are those the ones that are like He-Man-ish tall, or
they're 6 inch? They're 6 inch. Yeah. I've got quite a lot of those, probably too many, in fact. But I sort of went back and bought ones from. Because I think the Black Series started in like 2013 or 14, something like that. And I went back and bought all the ones that I wanted. So I'm pretty much up to date now. But as for the new releases, I think I'm pretty much out, especially if they're going to do away with the clear window boxes. Then I'm not up for that. I'm not up for buying just a cardboard box. Thanks. I want to see what I'm buying.
Right. Yeah. I think, like, for me personally, I am 99% vintage, and it has its pluses and minuses. The pluses is you know exactly how much there is to collect. The minus is there's nothing else to collect. Where if you are a modern Black Series collector, it seems to me as if every month there's new figures being announced, and it's a never-ending pre-order, drain your bank account type situation, which I'm glad I'm not part of.
Yeah, that, I was talking with someone about, because mostly I just collect vintage stuff, but I do like that there is an end. And you can choose whatever you want to collect, so it could be almost impossible if you want to set it that way for you to, whatever you want to collect. But knowing that there's an end, I don't know, gives me a little more. Because when does it end if you keep buying the same figure over and over and over and over and over again? It just feels like you're a slave to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing as well. It's gotten to the point where modern stuff is so hard to get hold of. The prices on the secondary market are almost as high as they are for vintage things.
Yep.
So
and for me, if you spend a certain amount, you have to think about someday you might have to resell this.
Yeah.
So, and for me, I've always thought vintage holds its value better. I don't know if that's true for modern stuff because I don't get into it. Maybe there's some great gains there too, but I feel like you can't go wrong. If people are still loving a figure that was made in 1970 now, then it's hard to imagine that they won't care, 20 years from now. Although, with popular stuff like Star Wars or something.
Yeah. So just to answer Jason's question, I think they are holding off to do it next year to make this like a big 40th anniversary type thing for the Jedi figures. But again, they're probably going to miss the mark whereby they seem obligated to give us a Leia, a Luke, and a Han figure. So that's 3 figures taken care of. And given that in the Empire line, there were no Imperial figures at all, I would have loved to have had a brand new bright white Hoth Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Would have been nice. They failed there. But what I'm hoping for is if they give us the Emperor's Royal Guard, because for me, now, I have stashed somewhere, I don't quite remember where, I have 10, or is it 8? Either 8 or 10 unopened retro collection Stormtroopers.
Oh, wow.
And if they do the Emperor's Royal Guards, I'll get at least 2 of those to make a really cool looking display with the Emperor, with the guards and 10 Stormtroopers standing by. But given that so far it seems as if we must get a Luke, a Han, and Leia, that leaves 3 figures. I imagine they might do a biker scout.
That would be good.
Yeah, it would be. But
I like a biker scout. I do like a nice biker scout.
Ewok, probably.
Oh yeah, Ewok. They have to do it. Of course, they're going to do an Ewok of some kind, which is unfortunate. But as I said, if they give us Emperor's Royal Guard, I'll be happy. And I don't know what other figures they might do for that. I mean, given that so far for the vintage lines, they've put the most desirable figure in a goddamn board game.
Yeah. Which
obviously for them makes sense to get people to pay double the price to get the figure we really want. But so here's my question to you guys. What would be your unique, never made before figure for Return of the Jedi?
Ooh. That's a good one. I can think of one for A New Hope, but not for Jedi.
Now, bearing in mind that Chris Smith has already given us the slave Leia and the Ula figure, which, from what I understand, Hasbro would never make anyway. So, what would be the one figure we never got from Return of the Jedi?
I mean, I think it would be neat to get maybe a better version of Endor Han.
Better in what way?
Maybe something that looked closer to the Endor Han, Endor Luke and Leia.
Yeah.
Because I felt like the Han never really went too well with that.
Right.
But he didn't have a helmet, so I don't know. It's a tough one. Besides Slave Leia, I mean, they've made everything, seems like.
Yeah. And it's funny because I'm asking you guys this question. I have no answer for myself.
Well, it'll be Ghost young Anakin, right? Because that's
yeah. Yeah.
So my daughter's 8 and I'm like not letting her see anything except the original 3.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to find a version of Jedi that had our Anakin as the ghost.
Yeah. Right.
Because like I'm not gonna show her that other, like she'll be like, who the hell is that guy?
Exactly. Yeah. Now here's a question for you, for everyone, in fact. So before the sequels came out, which was what, 2015, is that right? The Force Awakens was 15?
Sounds about right.
15, 17, 19, yeah, I think it was 2015. So my wife had never seen anything Star Wars, and I thought, let me show her the movies in numerical order.
You're a torture. That's like, you could be, that's abuse, I think, in some courts.
So we did that, and I think my versions of the original trilogy were done prior to the upgrades. So fortunately, she was so overwhelmed by the whole experience, she didn't question why it was that when Luke revealed his father's, face of this bald old man, why the ghost. Thankfully, that wasn't part of the questions. But then I thought to myself, did I make a mistake in doing that with her, or should you watch it in terms of release order? I don't know what's the correct answer here.
Yeah.
Well, I think when my daughter's 18, she could watch whatever Star Wars she wants. Yeah. But for the immediate future, it's going to be just the original. But I did think, when we were just talking about this, I think I thought of a good figure they could make is a retro Darth Vader that maybe you could take his helmet off and he has like a damaged arm or something. That could be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah. Let me get caught up with this chat. Maybe someone else has a good answer. So Obi-Wan's face looks like it's
been. I'm going to go and grab a beer.
Yeah, go ahead. Looks like clay motion. Obi-Wan TV show is all about Reva and all the other strong women that don't need a Jedi in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah. Again, for anyone just tuning in, I'm not opposed to watching it. I just haven't got round to it yet. I'm not so obsessed with Star Wars that I have to watch everything the second it comes out. Did you get that Luke from the game? Yeah, I got the Luke Snowspeeder. Yep. I could have stopped collecting Black Series due to the price increase. £5 more expensive within a year. That's insane. That's totally the reason I brought the first 2 waves. I sold my Star Wars figs and vehicles to classmates in the 80s. And if I'm honest, I'm flabbergasted I've actually purchased the new show figs. Yeah. Help us, Chris Smith. You're our only hope. Yeah. He is. They actually look a lot like the latest wave of black Back to the Future reaction figures. Don't mind them, actually. Yeah. Sorry, guys, I have to go. Great live stream as always, Dean. Love the comments. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, thanks, Kieran. So what figs for the Return of the Jedi line? So that's what I'm asking. Oh, Gamorrean Guard, Emperor's Royal Guard, Biker Scout, Lando Skiff, Jedi Luke, and Leia Bush. Yeah. Mon Mothma. But then I think despite how woke Hasbro is, they also know that most guys are not going to buy a girl figure. It's got to be Wedge. Yeah. it's a good shout. Although that would just be an adaptation of the X-wing, which was also bearing in mind the Luke Snowspeeder was a pretty cheap out adaptation of an X-wing pilot as well.
Did they ever make different versions of at the Mon Calamari besides
No. Yeah.
Weren't there? I feel like there was more than one at Mon Calamari, but
yeah, I think there was.
Okay.
So Chris says, what I don't understand is people will buy modern Star Wars even if they don't like it, just because it's Star Wars. And if they're wanting to buy these for an investment, it's pointless. Absolutely. I still remember to this day seeing a post on, I think it was Twitter, some guy was commenting on I don't know what the character, it's like a black Chewbacca figure. Black.
Oh, yeah, Black Chrysanthemum.
That's the one. And he wrote words to the effect of, Hasbro, this figure sucks. It looks terrible. I don't like it, but I will buy it anyway.
Yeah, no, that's...
They could make a retro Endor Leia with her long hair down. That could be cool.
Oh, they could do the Leia on the Ewok village with the plaid or the plaited hair and the dress. Yeah. But again, though, the thing is, and people have said I'm wrong on this, I think I'm still right, that as a kid, I didn't want a girl action figure in my collection because I would be made fun of. And that feeling still carries over into adulthood, whereby people are not going to spend 12 or 13 bucks or pounds on a girl in a dress with long plaited hair.
Yeah.
Are you saying that Slave Leia would sell? It would.
Yeah, it probably would. Yeah. This is a bunch of emojis that look like a star. I don't know what that is. A ninja and a peace sign. Happy accident. Okay. Well, what's the difference between collectors and hoarders, Chris? Hoarders will buy any Star Wars product. Collectors only want relevant figures. You're filling the void. Oh, yeah, Chris is absolutely filling the void. He has helped. Well, put it this way: without Chris Smith, I would not have a collection complete of Star Wars figures because the prices for the missing figures I had in my collection were just ridiculous. The fact that he went out of his way to make Last 17 affordable to me is just wonderful.
Are you saying you didn't have one of these as a kid, Dean?
Let me see. Oh, what's that?
The Baroness.
Well, here's the thing, though. You have to remember, I didn't know G.I. Joe as a kid.
Oh, okay.
So for me, I was Action Force prior to them incorporating the G.I. Joe side.
Did they have any women in that one?
Yeah, me too.
No, there were none. And
none. Huh?
There was no Action Force women. Or hang on, there may have been one, actually. But that was when they incorporated G.I. Joe into things. So, yeah. But as a kid, I did not have... Well, I had one Leia figure, and that was the Bush disguise.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was buying figures as a kid, I had to choose carefully with my pocket money. And there was no way I was buying a figure that could have led to me being picked on and teased for having a doll in my collection. Simple as that. You know?
Yeah, I think you could get away with it with Bush, couldn't you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this was the 80s. It was a different time. And boys did not play with dolls. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something, in any line that I really chose that over a guy figure, and I didn't have much money as a kid either, so I can't think of any. Like He-Man, I didn't choose those.
No. So I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, but please feel free to continue the chat. Or should I leave you with a question? Let me think of a good question. So, just going back to the whole topic of this Return of the Jedi retro collection wave, if we're going to get a board game and a special figure, what's the board game? What's the figure? And I will be right back.
What's the board game?
I could see there's probably some crappy like Ewok game that they could reprint, and maybe they'll put like the Leia or like a C-3PO in a throne, his like wooden throne thing. Maybe they'd do that.
Yeah, that would be cool. You could have a version of Mousetrap, I guess, with the Ewok village. But that's a bit of a reach. I don't know. I have a Star Wars Monopoly game. That's quite good.
Yeah, they definitely must have had some Jedi game. I can't think of any though off the top of my head.
No, you think there would be more? Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of like if there was some Ewok that they never made, but I feel like I can't think of any. Maybe baby Ewoks. There were some baby Ewoks.
Yeah. No, I don't know. What other board games could there be? I mean, could you do anything with Cluedo? Probably not. Don't know. Do you have Cluedo in the States? You must have Cluedo. I think you call it Clue, don't you?
We have Clue, yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah. I'm not sure. It's a good question. It's not one that I can answer really. Yeah. So tell us about your collection. What have you got behind you? That looks very colourful and very interesting.
Well, this is all vintage Japanese stuff.
Wow.
From like the 70s. They're called sofubi. They're plastic. So like here's some, and a lot of the ones I like have removable masks.
Oh, cool.
So this is Zone Fighter. It's the it was a competitor to Ultraman, which is those guys.
Oh, cool. That's quite a collection. That must have taken you some time to collect all those.
It's been kind of a lifelong thing. Here's like original Godzilla from 1966.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
That's really cool.
That's
an amazing collection, dude.
Thanks. So, I can give you a quick tour if you want.
Yeah, please. Oh, let me put you on the big screen. Right. Fantastic.
Let me, I'll change the camera here. Back. Okay. So yeah, we got lots of these guys. Kamen Rider, Devilman. And so these really big ones, these are really cool because they are early 70s, and that's kind of when this stuff first started. And as the oil crisis hit of the mid 70s, the material got so expensive that they just got smaller and smaller as they reached, mid to late 70s, which was kind of a bummer. I love the.
I have that Battle of the Planets ship.
There you go. Yep.
Yep, I have that, and I have the blue helicopter as well.
There's a Yamato ship. So yeah, here's some more. There's the Ultramans. That one's pretty cool right there. That's the 1966.
Whoa.
Then we got these are more late 70s, mid 70s. That's like the first Power Rangers. Himitsu Go Ranger. Those are cool. And we got Robocon. And then over here I got big robots, the Shoguns. Those are massive.
Yeah.
There's a Gatchaman, Sofubi, Yamato, and some more die-cast robots. Mazinger. Got a helmet.
Cool.
And here's some others you probably know.
Nice.
Yeah. I got Star Wars and stuff too, but it's in a different spot.
Wow! And do you find those in the States, or have you had to import a lot of those?
All imported.
Wow. There's some serious bucks there.
Yeah, some of this stuff is not too cheap. Yeah.
Now, I think I've said this before, but well, obviously because of the whole COVID thing, I've not been able to travel for a number of years. But prior to COVID, I spent something like a combined 10 or 12 weeks in Thailand before doing this channel, and I would see all these amazing, cool toys and not pay any attention to them. Oh, we got something here.
That's one you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I have that one too.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't remember the names of the two ships, but I have the red one and that one.
And I get the.
Really cool. But yours is in much better condition than mine is. Oh, wicked!
Oh, nice.
Which fantastic. Is any day now. I'm waiting for these treads because they just disintegrate.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a ticking time bomb for mine.
Yeah. Do you treat them with anything? If you I think there are some remedies you can to stop them cracking and to keep them, by putting up various types of oil or whatever in them.
There probably is. Yeah.
I'm sure you can look into it. It'd be a shame if they disintegrate and fall to bits.
Yeah, but so it's just to quickly go over this again. I was in Thailand for a number of weeks over like I guess 2017 to 19. And they would have these shops and markets just laden with toys and robots and all kinds of stuff that I didn't pay any attention to.
Oh, man.
Because I wasn't doing this back then. But having watched some videos on YouTube of people in Thailand, once we finally get back there, my God, I'm going to have a field day.
Yeah.
Because bearing in mind the close proximity to Japan, the stuff that Japan gets that we never got either in the UK or America is just something to behold.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I was telling an old friend of mine recently, back in primary school, so we're talking like ages 5 until 11, I had a friend in school whose dad worked in electronics and would take trips out to Japan, and he would come back and give his son the coolest things you've ever seen.
That happened to me in the late 70s. Or maybe around 1980, I moved with my dad, and we were in apartments, and below us was a Japanese family, and they were classmates of mine, but so I'd hang out with them sometimes, and their dad would go back and forth.
Yeah.
And they had all these metal toys, everything shot stuff, and the colors were awesome.
Yeah.
And I never saw them anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I remember seeing Game & Watch before it became a thing in the UK. It was, fantastic. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Brilliant.
This one's pretty awesome. This Yamato. It's just massive.
Oh, yeah.
And this one's mostly plastic, but the gimmicks, that they have on these toys are just so cool. Like, those open up.
Wow.
And this thing.
Yeah.
Open up and you got weapons. And then there's all these things that shoot stuff, and you can move these things.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Just like the engineering behind a lot of their toys is really awesome.
Yeah.
Also, I've always said, given that the toys we enjoyed as kids, so we're talking things like Transformers and Mask, were done and engineered before the advent of big computers being involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Human beings worked out the mechanics behind those toys.
I know. It's mind-blowing, isn't it?
Oh,
I
really?
think that's really what got me into Transformers and Mask was just the trying to get my head around how somebody could do that and make it and manufacture it and put it together. I mean, that had to be conceived in someone's mind. Like you said, it's such an amazing thing.
Yeah. I mean, for me, especially the Transformers, because the fact is, in vehicle mode, those are perfect die-cast vehicles.
Yeah.
And the fact that they can transform into a robot of sorts is amazing to think that someone probably sat down with a piece of paper and a pencil and worked that out. Brilliant. So,
and they make them out of wood and stuff to like do it working. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So AWM 85 saw the original films on VHS with no additional crap in it, although I didn't see them in order. Empire, Jedi, and Hope. Then went to the cinema to saw the ones with the CGI extra garbage. Yeah, so for me, I was Star Wars rented VHS, Jedi in the movie theater, and then Empire on TV. So I was all over the place.
Yeah.
Biker, plenty of unreleased Kenner Palatoy originals for Hasbro to do. Biggs, Uncle Owen, Aunt Beru, Rebel Fleet Trooper, Mon Mothma, more Skiff Guards. Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing, though. If Hasbro had the good foresight, they would say to themselves, okay, if we do these figures in retro style as if they were made back in the 80s, all these old guys who have the money to spend are going to buy these damn things.
Yeah.
But instead, they do retro figures on a show that's just been released. Makes no sense. No. Retro Hayden Christensen Anakin would be great. It would be kind of funny, actually. I think that would be a rather hilarious joke figure. Chris says, well, not hinting that I'm making this, haha, but Yarna Dal Gargan, Jabba's dancer, that would be a good figure.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah?
Didn't Stan Solo or someone make one of those?
Well, they made Ula.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which is a great figure again.
I'd like to get one of those.
Yeah.
Cool. There's a figure that I'd really like to see in the vintage collection, but I doubt we ever will. But I'd really like to see a Sarlacc. That would be very cool. Yeah. I think we need more space werewolves in the line.
Okay, so you have to educate me. I don't know who that is.
He's the space werewolf that's in the cantina. The one with a really dodgy, obvious Halloween mask.
Yeah,
the devil guy would be cool.
Yeah,
too.
Awesome. Yeah,
the devil one.
Now, Christmas, I would order that if you did it, just like the others I ordered from. Yeah. But here's the thing, though, isn't it amazing that Chris Smith can produce these figures that are exactly as they were back in the 80s with no problems, but Hasbro can't do this. How is that possible?
I guess it's because the money, they won't make enough. Because it's not like they can't do it. They just won't for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And of course, Hasbro isn't run by fans, is it?
No, certainly
it's
not.
It's run by money men in suits.
Because if they could produce those vintage figure look, and they were like 10 times cheaper, like their profit would be way, way, way more, then they would have been already doing it by now, probably. That's what I imagine. I forgot to show you this set.
Let me bring this up.
Pretty cool. Wow. Gotcha, man.
Oh, wow.
These are the figures that they made in the 70s.
Fantastic.
Very fragile, though. They're pretty breakable, which is unfortunate. I like I love the sturdiness of Fisher Price and most of the Kenner figures.
Yeah.
Their necks sometimes will snap, it seems.
But. Yeah. Now, AWM is talking about a game for...
there you go.
But
from all around,
there was a game called Escape from the Sarlacc Pit.
Yeah.
That wasn't made by, I don't know who it was made by, but it was like one of those sort of cardboard figure games. So that might be
the like a square box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it. There had to have been some kind of board game too that they made. I'm just not.
Oh, there we go. Parker Brothers did one based on the Battle over the Sarlacc Pit.
There you go.
So that was the Parker Brothers. Okay. Whatever the game is, it will never be played. However, I will say this. The Hoth game wasn't at all bad. I played it with my wife a few times. We kind of enjoyed it, to be honest. Wasn't the worst game ever. And,
I'm looking at a 1984 catalog, and there's some Ewoks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go to the game section and see if there's any Star Wars games. It was the Hoth one. It was a like remake of one that they already made. Was it like a replica?
Yeah, it was the same one they released back in the day. Now, unlike the Escape the Death Star game, it was a pretty manageable game for people who weren't so inclined to love Star Wars. It was a very simple sort of dice, well, not dice, but like a spinner type game. And I've played it a number of times, actually, quite enjoyed it. Not at all bad. And I've never played the Sarlacc Pit game, so I couldn't comment on that.
I don't see a Star Wars one here, but
right
here's the selection.
Gremlins. Yeah. Gremlins, yeah. Yeah, number of awesome throwbacks back.
Did they have a lot of those in the UK? Same?
Well, we had a lot of big franchise games as kids. I remember being quite disappointed by the Jaws game. You had to like fish out the old artifacts from the seabed from Jaws' mouth. That was a big letdown. Oh, there we go. Ah.
Well, look at the Rancor.
This was very much the end of the line, eh?
Yeah, getting close.
Yeah. Wow. Now, which
you can still buy the land speeder? I'm surprised.
Yeah, interesting.
What catalog is that?
Yeah,
this is a 1984 Christmas JCPenney.
JCPenney.
Oh.
I loved these as a kid. You know, I would just look at these with yours.
Yeah, it was like for me, the mail order catalog was one of the best things ever as a kid.
Yeah,
just to dream and hope. But also, don't forget, there was always. Hang on. Oh,
see what they had to compete with. See, this is where my money went. I was moving to G.I. Joe,
right?
Because look at that. The selection is just way cooler.
Now, does that catalog contain a ladies' lingerie section?
Sure does.
Like the Freeman's catalog.
It's not.
Bring it up, sir. Because for me, as a kid, as a red-blooded male, I loved flicking through those pages. Even like being like maybe 8, 9, 10 years old, I knew. Oh, hang on, that's not launch. Oh, 18.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just go. There's like 2 more toy ones.
Yeah. Oh, there's the Corvette. Is it?
I don't know this plane, but that plane looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
I don't know what A-Team is. That an A-Team plane?
I don't believe so. But no, is that all Galoob? Yeah, that's all Galoob.
The A-Team Interceptor bomber. Wow,
I never knew that one existed. Wow,
A-Team playset, I guess.
Damn, I never even knew such things existed. I have my, I guess, like 5-inch A-Team figures, but
yeah, I mean, goddamn, the choices you had as a kid were awesome in this year.
Oh, it's fantastic.
How could you choose?
Yeah, brilliant. And also bearing in mind that everything you got, we were a year behind. So for me, 85 was the Optimus Prime Christmas.
Optimus Prime was only $25.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
And you have this line too. Man, they went bananas.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right,
So
I'll get
Dean,
to the underwear.
did you get into Mask when it first came out, or were you late to the party?
Well, no, I got into it the minute it arrived in the UK. But bearing in mind, I was in high school at the time, and I had to keep that a secret from my classmates because I was at the point where I was too old for toys, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you said that was the last line that you collected.
Yep, it was indeed. I'm just waiting to see this lingerie section. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I always remember like feeling quite naughty looking at these pages, but as a kid, it was such a thrill to see that.
The Freeman's catalog was the best for that.
Yeah,
Molly Ringwald kind of a hairdo there.
Yeah. I always remember they would have these chicks dressed up in suspenders and stockings and stuff, and thinking, "My God, this is the most amazing thing I'd ever seen." So I would probably flick between that and the Star Wars page and be equally entertained, you know?
Yeah. Did you put any red rings around the models and say, "I want this for Christmas, Mum"?
Well, no. Although
I did on some, not on this one. There's
Dean,
wow. I know you like these, Dean.
Yeah,
fantastic,
brilliant.
Nice.
And you know what? Just seeing that reminds me of something that happened to me this week. So as I said, Optimus Prime Lego has been a rather expensive purchase. I've been going through my whole boxes of things to see what I can sell. And in doing so, I found some old photographs. And I found a couple of really old photographs of myself. We're talking like late 70s here, dressed up as a cowboy or playing in my Indian teepee. And what really hit home was that I was laughing and I was so happy. And I'm thinking, what the fuck happened to me that I no longer have that same happiness and joy in my life? Oh, hang on, we've got some jackets here. Oh, wow.
I was hoping the collar on that.
Yeah. And maybe I'll share these pictures next week. But seeing myself dressed up with the cowboy hat, the vest, the belt, and the holsters, and the rifle, and I'm smiling like, when the fuck did I last smile? You know, being an adult is not easy. No, it really isn't. And
you're smiling now.
Yeah, I am. I'm having fun. You know what? And that's thanks to you guys. But the fact is that looking back on those old days, man, I was a happy kid. And something changed, but I want to get back to that again. And maybe I can do that. Maybe we can all do that again. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, it really would. And
I was happy when I was riding around on my big wheel.
Oh wow, big wheel, yeah.
Oh,
you must have had those.
Did we get big wheels in the UK? I don't remember them when I was young.
We had tricycles, I think.
Yeah.
I had one that was definitely blue in color, with the wheel up front, the two wheels at the back. But it wasn't nearly as fancy as that.
Here's that game, right?
Oh, there we go. Escape the Sarlacc Pit. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
So I think that will be what we get with the Jedi line.
I'd take that crow one. That looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And when you couldn't afford the video games, you could get the Frogger or Donkey Kong board game.
And the Pac-Man plastic game. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's like sometimes I feel blessed and cursed in as much as I have some very, very vivid memories of being a kid. And when I saw those old photographs, it all came flooding back. Oh, what's this Lego? Oh, yeah. Yep. There we go. Some absolute classics there.
So let's see the biggest set. Because you were saying how much was Optimus Prime?
Like with tax, 185.
So the biggest set here was 42. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean that does explain why I didn't get it, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Lego wasn't ever really cheap, I guess.
No.
Oh yeah, all these are cool. This tabletop days.
Oh yeah. Yep. Luckily enough, I still have my Astro Wars tabletop game, and it still works, which is fantastic.
Astro Wars? Oh, I don't know if I
like that Tomy one, the red, the ones that you would hold up to your eyes.
Oh yeah, like binoculars. Yeah.
Yeah, they were cool.
I still have some like this. Donkey Kong.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Fantastic.
Tron. Did you guys have these? Tron.
Where do you keep pulling these things from? Have you got Mary Poppins' bag down there?
It's a treasure. It's a treasure house.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Arthur says, no, just skip 1 and 2 and most of 3. Yeah, I would agree with that. 3 was okay, actually. I enjoyed 3 more than the previous 2. Although episode 1, hang on, what we got here?
I'd love to get some of these again. Stompers.
Oh, Stomper, yeah.
They had little headlights and all that.
Yeah, I had an A-Team van that had 2x4 or 4x4 that you could switch back and forth.
That's cool.
Which was awesome.
Cool. Was that just the van on its own, or could you put the figures inside?
No, just a van. There were no figures. It wasn't much bigger than a Corgi vehicle. It was slightly chunkier, probably maybe maybe 10 centimeters long, but it had headlights and all sorts.
It's interesting some of the toys they put in the catalog that aren't Star Wars, but they put this their base thing with Star Wars toys.
Yeah.
And then there's this vehicle.
Wow. And did they do a 4-pack of Stormtroopers?
Yeah. JCPenney's would sell these. Well, it wasn't like a package. It was like, well, I don't know how it came actually, but I know when you ordered them through the catalog, you usually had to get the group.
Wow, that's awesome. Fantastic. So Chris says the game will be an Endor involving speeder bikes, ATSTs, obviously Ewoks and Stormtroopers, and have to turn the shield down to the Death Star at the end to complete it. Happy days. Yeah, as long as it's an okay game to play, I don't care what it is. Like the stream guy. Well, thank you. Wolf in the Cantina with red eyes. Yep.
Yeah. Well, 83, the G.I. Joe selection was quite small.
Yeah. Well, for me, I think in the UK, 83, or I think Action Force came out in 82. So 83 might have been the first wave of like the various factions in Action Force. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Nice.
Wow. Very nice.
Black Star, I think. Some D&D.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I always think the D&D is later than this for some reason. I don't know why.
So Yesterday Land says, I love what Chris Smith is doing with Stan Solo. I have a carded blue snag. Got him from a few years ago. Yeah. To get a blue snaggletooth in mint condition was just fantastic. Hello, Mr. Agies. How are you doing today? Hope all is well. Hope you're well too. Never mind releasing figs. If they were made in the 70s and 80s, they should do that with the Star Wars films too. Yep. I'm confused. Is your guest an American with a Spurs t-shirt? I thought the same thing as well.
It is.
That's Spurs?
Yeah.
Wow. Can you explain the story behind that?
Well, sure. I had some friends at work who wanted me to. I was trying to stay in shape, and I was like, soccer's kind of cool. And then I ended up. There were some guys at work who were watching soccer, and this was like maybe 2010 or 2009 or something. And I was like, so EPL just kind of started to come on American TV. Like before that, it was you had to use the internet or something. But like, I was like, I don't know what team to watch. So I was like, are there any Americans on any of these teams? And there was one that I knew, Clint Dempsey, and he was on Spurs. So I was like, oh, I'll watch them. And then, when you watch one team enough, you start to understand who's on the team. And it just ended up, that's my team. Yeah.
Huh.
And actually where I live, Seattle is a very soccer town. And we have a really good team here, local team, the Sounders. And I play soccer when I can, if I'm not injured.
Right. Well, yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
So Jason had the Parker Brothers Sarlacc Pit game as a kid. I remember thinking it was very unnecessarily complicated. But perhaps I was too young.
I don't know if I ever played it successfully.
Yeah. Oh, also, I find the Death Star game to be rather complex as well, whereas the Hoth game was very straightforward to play. Oh, Mark is here. Good evening, Mark. The 80s for me is a time I will always cherish as a kid. My best times as a kid. And lines were Mask, Motu, Star Wars, and G.I. Joe. And we have a Star Wars clock and watches.
I had that alarm clock growing up.
Wow. Fantastic. Some of my best toys as a kid were the ones I found in yard sales, thrift stores, or hand-me-downs that were brought home from my parents that were given to me from their work.
Did your stereo look like this, Dean?
I did have, I had, in the 80s, my stereo was a turntable, cassette, and radio. Then I remember my parents getting one with 2 cassette decks, which was like way high tech.
Yeah.
Didn't they used to call those entertainment centers?
Music centers.
Yeah.
Yeah, entertainment center, music center, yeah. Chris here, Dean. Okay.
Wow, this is high tech. I'd never seen this as a kid. It's like a boombox, but it also has a TV in it.
Oh wow. That is unique.
What the heck?
$200.
And that was a lot of money back then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Arthur Hall says, love the Eric Singer signed drumhead. Have one just like it. Oh, awesome. Yeah. How can you even see that? Wow.
Okay. Dude, this is crazy. These Walkmans are quite pricey. Some of these are $60 to $100.
Oh, wow. That's insane back then, because I know that as a kid, I remember seeing the price of the Millennium Falcon and thinking, my God, you have to be a millionaire to buy that. And that was probably like, what, 25, 30 pounds maybe?
Let's see how much it is here. Well, the Ewok, okay. The Millennium Falcon is $36.99.
Oh, wow.
36.
So Matt has said, I don't want to sound patronizing, Dean, but I'm really proud of you have tackled these live streams. Thank you very much. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. And man, I'm searching eBay now for Sears and JCPenney catalogs. I miss these. Oh, yeah.
They're a lot of fun, man.
Oh, those were the best. And that's why for us in the UK, we have access to the scans of the Argos catalogs, which aren't quite as good as the typical mail order catalogs, but it gives you a good insight into what was available back then. And to see some of the prices is quite frightening.
Ewok Village, only $20.
Jeez,
Wow.
yeah.
The Y-Wing, that I was surprised. So the Interceptor is 18 and the Y-Wing's 20. Pretty reasonable, I guess. I mean, the boxes were pretty big, you know.
Yeah.
Is there a US equivalent of Argos? What would that be?
I'm forgetting what Argos is. Is that a company, a store?
Argos was basically a storefront with a bunch of laminated catalogs and an order form that you would go through the catalog and in pencil write on the order form what you wanted. You would take it to the counter, and they would then take it to this massive warehouse and bring it out front and sell it to you.
No, I don't remember anything like that. You know, for me, it was all about boom, what's in the aisles, you know, like everything was out. You know, the first time I ever encountered anything like that, I think, was when Nintendo came out. They would keep the games behind the counter, you know, on the pegs or whatever. And it was before the internet and stuff. So that would be your first impression often of the games, was going to Toys R Us or whatever and seeing behind the counter. And you're like, let me see that box. And then you'd like turn it and look at the graphics. And you'd just see how many times you could get away with that before the person behind the counter was like, Jesus, kid, just pick one. Are you even buying anything? You know?
Right.
But that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't know. That's like, you guys had a lot of patience or something to like be able to figure out what. Did you ever fill it out and then they'd be like, sorry, it's sold out?
I don't think that ever happened, but they had some, but they would have a small display in the front of the store.
That's cool. Well, they must have really cut back on shoplifting though, doing that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it sucks. Sometimes you look at a playset or like a G.I. Joe, like the water moccasin had a clear plastic where the figure was in the water moccasin's the boat, one of the smaller boats. And sometimes, you know, someone would just rip out the figure. Oh, wow. So, you know, it's like,
but I just remember that Argos would do some pretty amazing multi-packs of Star Wars figures. Ooh. But they would be randomly selected. For example, I remember looking at the catalog recently, and in 1983 or 84, they would give you 2 current figures. So it would be like Emperor's Royal Guard, Biker Scout, Hoth, Han, and Darth Vader as this 4-pack, which was kind of random, but kind of cool at the same time.
Yeah. Didn't they also used to do that thing where you would buy a random figure and you didn't know which one you were going to get until you got to the...
Oh, what?
Yeah.
So that was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, because you were buying a Star Wars figure.
Yeah.
And that was it. Yeah.
So weren't there other stores where you could go to get what you actually wanted?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, you could go to Woolworths.
John Menzies.
I had Woolworths.
Yeah.
I had Woolworths.
Yeah. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I will be right back.
Do you have KB toys?
No, not in the UK.
Oh, cool.
And so Argos, was it kind of like they sold everything there, or was it
pretty much everything? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, except food. You could get everything there.
Your parents would be going, and then you'd be like, let me look at the catalog to see if I could get a toy or something.
Yeah, and the catalogs were huge though. They were sort of, you know, this thick.
Oh wow.
And they sold pretty much everything, and you would just go into the shop, write down the little number of the item you wanted, and then wait at the front, and they would bring it to you from out the back. So they must have had so much stuff out the back. It must have been amazing. But Yeah, that was cool.
And you got to do the random thing. That's just crazy to me. So you'd be
Yeah,
like,
you would. It would say, Star Wars figures. Figure may vary, and then you would buy. You would select the catalog number, and they would just bring you any random figure.
oh my
And you
god,
just got whatever the
what if
figure
you already
was.
had
I mean,
that one?
I guess you could have said to them, oh, could you change this for another one, maybe? But I don't remember ever doing that. I just remember, you used to get whatever one they grabbed first. So it was a bit of a gamble to see which one you were going to get.
Well, I mean, the closest I had to that was like if I was sick or something, and I'd tell my mom to buy me like some comic books or something. She'd always come back with like the most random, like, kid appropriate. I'm like, I don't want Smurfs, dude. I want like X-Men or something like.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I used to get quite a lot of comic books when I was younger.
Cool.
Used to get Transformers and Mask and the Ghostbusters and stuff like that. It was quite cool.
Here's a 70s one, 1978. I'm trying to see if they have much for Star Wars, but so far I'm not seeing much. But they have these cool Marvel toys and.
Is that a Superman doll down at the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh, and a Hulk one. Cool.
Spider-Man. I remember that. I didn't have it, but he would. I don't know. You could like attach a rope to it or something, and
yeah.
So, is that Remco?
What is this? I don't know. Is that the make?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. So, Carlo Angelo Marcelo says, loving the stream, the music and toys talk rules. From the Philippines. Oh, well, thank you so much.
Wow.
Yeah. Hi-Fi was not hi-fis unless they came with wood paneling, of course. What's this?
So I moved to 78. That's why we're seeing some older Micronauts.
Yeah.
Look at that ship. That ship is cool. I never saw that as a kid.
Yeah. Very nice. And black and white as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that in black and white?
Probably just save money,
Oh.
We had Easton's and consumers distributors in Canada. Couldn't wait to get those catalogs. Yeah. Those were the best times. That boombox. Yeah, exactly, Jason. I love that little boombox.
Maybe that's like what you were dressed up like, huh?
Yeah, very much. Very similar, actually, yeah.
I think I went with the military. Look at those real lifelike guns you used to be able to
when kids could be kids and play.
Oh, guns without orange tips.
Yeah, fantastic. Brilliant.
That stuff's become quite collectible here in America. I don't know.
Circling toys was, that was the. I think by choosing some catalog, it seemed to make the whole process more drawn out. Of course it was. Absolutely. Argos were pulling that random Star Wars figure crap as recently as 2017 with a. Really? You would pay for a random Black Series figure? Wow.
What?
That's insane. That was the thing. You pick it from the catalog, and when you got to the store, in hopes of it being there, very exciting as a child. Yeah. Holy crap. We've well exceeded the 2-hour time allotment. So we'll bring this to a close. Yesterday's toy says, in the UK, did you have Best Stores or Montgomery Wards? No. Best was a warehouse type store merch upstairs, and the catalog counter paid for it, and they sent it to you by conveyor belt. That's similar to Argos, actually. What are these?
So I was looking for Star Wars because this is 1978 Christmas.
Okay.
And this is it.
Wow.
There's some model kits. I couldn't find any mention of the figures yet.
So that's before Kenner got their act together.
They were probably doing that early bird thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what they were doing. So this was fantastic. So, in conclusion, going back to the whole topic at hand,
Yes.
do we agree that this upcoming retro collection line of Kenobi figures, for me, it's a miss? Is it a hit or a miss? Monkey Boy.
I think overall a miss, with the
Yeah.
exception of one figure. But yeah, it's not going to save it. I'm afraid, not for me.
No. And Knights of Old.
Well, it's a miss for me. It would have
Yeah.
been a long shot, but I mean, I don't see anything that would pull me in. So I would say a hit would mean, regardless of if I collected the other ones in the past or not, it would be a hit if it pulled me in, and it hasn't.
Right.
Maybe if I saw them, and maybe if I saw some pictures of them mingling with other figures, that might help me. But
even then, to me, they just don't fit in with the old Kenner figures.
Yeah.
No.
So probably for me, it's definitely a miss, I think. Matt says, I remember that big movie would have cheap costumes in the toy aisles, which were usually a plastic apron type thing and a plastic mask that had edges that were really sharp. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Bearded Geek Toy Review says the trick was to ask for a store preview in Argos to see if they had the figure you wanted. Then you could pick and choose. Okay. Great show, Dean. Pleasure to watch. Looking forward to more. Loving talking 80s and toys with you all. Well, thank you. And definitely a hit. Okay, Ray. So you like them, and that is good for you. I think for me personally, this will be my first pass. I obviously got on board with the Star Wars and the Empire Strikes Back, and I reluctantly got on board with the 2 Mandalorian waves, but this one is probably a stretch too far for me, but just my opinion. Yeah. And Matt says, you've smashed this live stream out of the park. Well, thank you. Wilma Dick thinks it's a total miss, and there's a big old jobby to back that up. So, in conclusion, thank you everyone for watching this. I really enjoyed having you all here, and to the 2 guests, Monkey Boys Toys, Knights of Old, thank you for joining me.
Anytime, man. I've always appreciated your talks, all your live streams, and your attitude have always been inspiration, Dean, and I'm really happy to see you online more.
I really appreciate that. I'll quickly catch up and says a big hit, but I'll wait for the prices to come down. Not a fan of these high Hasbro price increases. Yeah. Great stream. Well, thank you, and great evening, everyone. Awesome stream, guys. Well, thank you so much for everyone who tuned in, and it's been an absolute pleasure. The time has flown by, and we'll do this again next week, I hope. So see you then. Good night from me.
Thanks for having us, Dean.
It's a good night from him.
Thank you.